Hello. Hello. Good evening. Welcome. Welcome to power washing with a bunch of Japanese songs in the background that will hopefully not get me in trouble with copyright. How are you all doing tonight? This is, well, once again, not what I was actually... What's a power wash? Oh, you've never seen a power wash? It's like those high pressure washing thingies, like when stuff is really fucking dirty and you just take this stream of highly concentrated water and that's power washing. Water gun, exactly. How you feel after a few naps? Honestly, I'm feeling pretty good right now, surprisingly. Like which is why I'm taking this chance to stream. To power wash me. Are you that dirty? No, it's like I'm feeling actually pretty well rested right now, and I don't know for how long it'll stay that way. So I'm taking this chance to stream at least a little. I would love to continue Great Ace Attorney, but I would have to read out loud and actually think a lot in that game, and I don't think my brain is going to cooperate with me on that front today. Wait, I forgot to do something. Also, wow, I don't know if you guys have seen, I saw it earlier on Twitter as well again. There's a bunch of weird hate accounts out on Twitch again. So stay safe when you see people with weird usernames, because I just noticed that another account had followed me who is exactly like that, and I am getting tired of it. You finished the 5th case? Ooh. We're at the 4th case. We have to get started on the 4th one. And if I'm feeling good tomorrow, then we're going to do that. We're definitely going to do that. Just don't know yet. Because my parents keep telling me, oh, BioNTech, most people who got BioNTech say that the worst about BioNTech only gets started on the 2nd day. So I don't know. I'm on day 1 and I'm lagging. I see. I maybe should have checked that before with this game. God fucking. I'm a dumbass. Oh, I was only logging on the loading screen. Okay, well that's acceptable. Now look at this. Bunch of dirty stuff. I already played through, I think, most of the game. I don't think there's that many stages left. So let's see. Private property, huh? Dirty private property. You're on the big one. Yeah, last time I played on my own, I did the whole fire department thing. That was horrible to do, honestly. Like 1 unlock left. Oh damn. I'll have 2 smaller ones, but I want to at least do 1 big one. And then we'll see about the rest. Though they posted an update earlier today, I think that they're planning on bringing a new stage soon. I mean, this game is still in early development. I mean, and I don't know why I got this much traction. Like, everyone and their mother now knows PowerWash Simulator, I feel. And it's like, this is the first... Did you tweet that you're live? I did not! You're right! I'm a dumbass. It's always something I forget, isn't there? It's always something I forget.
煮干し
That's what happens when all the big YouTube people do that thing. I mean, yeah, but someone must have started it. I just know that I suddenly saw so many people power wash. So I got the game for myself as well. I don't know if I said this before, but it's like... have I told you guys the story of how I fell in love with Splatoon? It was me, I started it. Ah, that's right. I actually got into Splatoon. I think I said it on the Portal stream. Because it was kind of through Portal. Because, you know, I once spent so many hours on that one map in Portal where you could get the colors and stuff pretty much everywhere. And we spent the friend I played it with, the co-op mode, we spent so many hours on that one stage just to get the colors everywhere. I don't think they intended for us to get the colors to some places. The stairs is apparently a monkey playground, house of primate research, and okay, good to know. And then when Splatoon was first announced, another friend was like, hey, remember the time you spent so many hours in Portal? I was like, yeah, they made a game now where you shoot colors at each other. And it was like, what? And they sent me the trailer. And like, that is how I became interested in Splatoon, because that was everything I wanted. Just shoot color at other people, cover everything in color. You always paint the entire training ground, right? Me too. It's like, yes, I will get color everywhere. Watch me. So, and this is like the exact same principle, but just the other way round. It's like, okay, clean everything of the dirt and grime. And I'm like, yeah, hell fucking yeah, I'm going to clean this bitch so hard. Because it's the exact same principle to me. It's just the complete opposite of Splatoon, but it does the same thing to my brain. It makes my brain go brrr. Sarah cleaner when I don't know what that means. It's just, heck yeah, keep away. No, I have to clean it. I cannot keep away. Oh my god, is that good for the camera? I don't think that's good for the camera, right? Do I even have to clean the camera? Meanwhile, you also clean up instead of general dirt, it's blood. Ooh. Why? Why do you have to clean up blood? What happens in that game that there's blood everywhere? Do you have anything to do with the reason that there's blood, or do you just clean up? Just like, yeah. Oh, we did a whoopsie! We did a whoopsie, now we need someone to clean it. You're the cleanup crew after Doom guy comes in. Oh wait! I think I saw that before. That sounds familiar at least. I think I saw that before. But that's why you have an actual mop and stuff, right? It's not just like this one thing that you spray water everywhere, but like you have a mop and you actually have to swing it around. I think I've seen that one before. My Santa goes on a rampage. Oh man. In other very surprising news, Buster Fellows finally arrived at my place. You know, the Otome game I had pre-ordered from P-Cube themselves, like the limited edition, which came out like 3 weeks ago. That got stuck, apparently, according to the tracking. It got stuck in customs twice, like it went through the whole customs process twice, but no telling of when it will ever get shipped to me, and now it's here. Finally. I was thinking if I should play it on stream, but been for Tomo, will you play a boyfriend dungeon, whatever it's called? I have not looked into what that exactly is. I have to look into what it entails and then we'll see about it. Where you date your weapons? Oh, I mean, it sounds interesting enough, but I haven't really looked up what it is. The thing about Busterfellows though is that the official account shared a statement where they were like, hi, it's fine to share stuff from chapter 1, but we would like to ask everyone to refrain from sharing screenshots or videos or streaming everything after that. So we're not going to play Busterfellows on stream. I mean, that's perfectly valid if they don't want people to get spoiled on it. So I'm going to play it on my own sometime when I find the time. PowerWash, yeah! Full of PowerWash porn? Oh! I watch a few people on YouTube. I watch, well, they're not PowerWashers. Also, hello, hi! I watch a group of people cleaning on YouTube. They're called Clean Avengers. They're based in Korea. They're not power washers, but they deep clean homes for people like that in a bad place, like either mentally or something where they live. Well, you can't really call it living anymore. And they interview the people there and like share their life stories of how it became that way and how they want them to get out of there and like get better again. And like it always makes me cry kind of, because the people that end up in these situations, it's not their fault. Like it's never their fault. It's just but the stories are really hard sometimes. And it's so fascinating to see because those houses look horrible. Like there's trash everywhere. You cannot walk. There's mold sometimes. There's flies. There's food leftovers, whatever. And they go in there and they film it. They're a small crew of like, I don't know, 7 people maybe. And they clean it all up. And then by the end of it, it's an actual clean room or house or whatever. Like full on deep clean. It's fascinating. And I don't think they take money for it. It's like they obviously take some jobs where they get money, but the ones where they help people that are in a bad place, they don't take money for that. They just, you know, want to help these people get back into real life, I guess. Watch a few videos of someone cleaning old paintings. Oh, that's also fascinating. I think restoring stuff to its former glory is always really cool. Smooch and H and K. What's an H and K? How are you today? I have a horrible headache. I've been on and off on being awake since like early today. And my arm hurts, but otherwise it's pretty alright. Like when I got the first shot, it was way worse. Like when I got the first shot, I could not move. I was just in bed the entire time. And when I tried to get up to get something to drink, I was like, oh, no, I shall go back. Så kan make it on us. Oh. No, but I only have a headache right now. So I'm hoping it stays that way. Can you get ways to remember why guy clears flooded roads? Oh. No, YouTube has not recommended me something like that yet. Which vaccine did you get? This time I got the BioNTech one. First time around I got AstraZeneca, and this time I got the BioNTech one. So I have this funny, I don't know what you would call it, cross vaccine thing. Because they are saying that this one, mixed ones, yeah. Because they're saying that it's apparently better or something. Like if you got Astra for the first one, you should get another one as a second. Do you need to be in a study group? No. My local doctor was just like, well, we have both of these, so which one do you want? I was like, well, I mean, just give me one, shoot. And the system was like, well, we recommend you getting BioNTech. especially seeing as you're so young still. I was like, okay, well, sure. I'll take it. I don't really care which one they pump into me as long as it does its job. Life to BioNTech wasn't available. Ah. Yeah, when I got my first one, they also didn't have it yet. Like, I had to wait a full 12 weeks. Like, it's been a full 12 weeks since I got my first one. So, hold on. You made vaccine increases effectiveness, but yeah, they can't really say yet, right? Covishield is the same as AstraZeneca. Oh, okay, I have not heard of that one, I think. Wait, but like, there's one that they renamed, right? Moderna. The Moderna one was renamed into something else, I think, because I had to give my consent again, because they were like, well, it's a different thingy now, so we need your signature again, that you consent to getting this thing. I was like, oh, okay, sure, isn't it the exact same? And I think they renamed Moderna, the Moderna vaccine. You have to wait for 12 weeks. 12 weeks is a surprisingly long time, like, not gonna lie. It's called Spikevax now. Aha! Like, I know that my mom got both of her vaccines in the time between me getting my first and second shot now. Like, hello? Well, that's not completely true. She got her first one like a day before mine. Second one's the end of September. But that's alright. Time passes really quickly. Like, I know my birthday is already way past the middle of the year, but to me, my birthday's like marks the middle of the year. Even though, obviously, August is already 2 months after the middle of the year. But whenever my birthday has passed, I'm just like, yep, it's gonna be Christmas like tomorrow. Because time passes so fast. The older I get, the faster time passes, and it's kind of disorienting, not gonna lie. It's like, damn, what the fuck did I do as a child that time would, you know, pass so slowly, and now it's so fucking fast? Well, that's a rhetorical question. I know what it is. It's I go to work every day, I come home tired, I sleep. And I do the same thing every day, and I don't really have time for anything else anymore. Ha ha ha. That's depressing. Depends on vaccine in country. UK only just from 12 weeks to 6 weeks. I see. We're 2/3 of the way through 2021. Don't remind me. Like, 2020 was not real. Like, that year passed by so fast. I don't remember anything of it. It's like, yeah, sure. 2020 sure was a year. I can't tell you what I did that time, but it sure was a year. And like, as a very introverted person, obviously I was never a party kid that went out a lot, but due to Corona...
Oh my god, you're washing. Yeah! Good evening! We're washing.
But due to COVID, obviously I've been out and about even less. Like, even with the few friends I would meet up with, you know. So it's even more so that we just spend each day going to work, getting home, going to sleep, going to work, getting home, going to sleep. So it's kind of disorienting to see that this year's already so far, has already progressed so far. Like, what do you mean? What do you mean I have to get used to writing 2022 soon? Don't. I refuse to see. I refuse to see. Ew! Ew! This is disgusting. I hope no one actually made food on this. Because, like, ew. Last year seemed so slow, but this year feels so fast. I feel like to me personally, I feel like last year passed by really fast as well. But... Oh my god. You can I hope no one cooked food in this thing. Jesus Christ. It looks horrible. Horrible. How do I clean this? Huh. So well, that was the Oreo yogurt. Yeah, right? Honestly, I have no clue. It's like, I should fucking turn 23 like the day before yesterday. That's a thing that happened. That's certainly a thing that happened. It's so weird. When people ask me how old I am, I now have to say a different age. Every year it's the same. Every year I'm just like, God damn it! Now I have to remember a new number. Why do you do this to me? I think I updated it on Twitter though. I haven't updated it on Discord yet. Oh no! I still have to do that. Otherwise people are going to ask me, hey, how old are you? And then I would be lying. Remember in 2020 when you had everything planned for next? Oh yeah. I'm just so fucking glad that because 2020 was the year I got done with my apprenticeship, that I had not planned on, you know, going anywhere special for the end of that apprenticeship, because there were a lot of people in my class who had planned like big holidays. And obviously those plans were fucking ruined. So I'm just glad that I went to Japan in 2018 and back in my first year of the apprenticeship, where I was like, well, it's my first time earning my own money, so I'm gonna use it to travel. Remember to turn the nozzle. Why would I need to turn it right now though? Where is that thing still? Ah, wait, but it's the ground that's dirty, not the thing. What part of this thing is still dirty? The bottles? No. You still want to December to say I'm 26.
Everything is doodle damp.
Aw, yeah. Or the whole thing when you could just go spin. Shh. I've been playing this game like this the entire time. Like, a friend told me when I was doing the fire department that I could turn a nozzle after I was like halfway through with it. And he was like, why don't you ever turn your nozzle? I'm like, what do you mean? Yeah, well, you can just do this. And he's like, I see. And then I never did it again. Because this is working for me.
I don't need to do something fancy like turn the nozzle if I can clean everything this way. Works perfectly fine.
I think this game is really relaxing. It's like you just have the constant sound of this water, of this power washer just going. The only frustrating thing is sometimes you're just like, okay, what part of this is still dirty? And you know, you can press tab to see, and it highlights in orange what part is still dirty. Which I also did not find out until very far into the game. I cleaned the entire, like all of the big ones, like the really big house, the haunted house thingy without it, and the shoe without it. I was like, there sure is dirt somewhere. I cannot tell where, but there sure is dirt. So that was fun. Such a good game. It is. It is. I think these people also made the PC building simulator game, right? I think the people responsible for this made the PC building one as well. Sometimes when you hit tab in the yeah, it's like, isn't this already clean? And it's like, nope. You're a fool if you think this is clean. Why is it... Okay, you know what? I'm just gonna clean around the bench. I'm just gonna clean around the bench and see. Sometimes you just accidentally hit a place with the spray again, and then it lights up. It's like boom! I'm clean now. Ah, so what is it with this game? Can I like turn anything off? Because yeah, as soon as I put the water on. As soon as I put the water on, I'm lagging, but I guess. Under the sitting part, well, I cannot go any lower than this. Sadly. So, see? Sometimes you just have to hit a random part.
Cleaning time, yes! We cleaning. We cooking, we cleaning. Well, we only cleaning. I'm not actually cooking.
I did have dinner earlier, but like, I don't really feel like eating. So I just blame that on the vaccine. It's so fascinating when you see the real color come back out. Like, hell yeah, this was a normal colored floor initially. Finally, we can see it again. So it is so satisfying. It's like, hell yeah. I do kind of doubt that only water could do this much. But on the other hand, watching power washes in real life is pretty scary because the pressure is... like, in this game it's just like, yeah, okay, I mean, what... no? But if you look at one in real life, it's just... I think if you got hit by that, it would hurt like hell. I think you could definitely get injured if you got hit by a power washing hose. Which is why it's so funny to me when you hit something and the water just like reflects off of it. And you just stand there like, you can't just stand there like, yeah. That's a bunch of water hitting me in the face with really bad pressure. Well, hard pressure, I don't know how to say this. And you're just there like, whatever. It could be worse, right? There's also no fall damage in this game if you fall down from really high places, which obviously good. I don't really want fall damage in a game like this, but sometimes when you fall down from a really high place when you try to clean it and there's nothing happening, you just walk away. You wouldn't power wash this, everything will probably break. Yeah, that's true. Like, especially if you take like this really small one, like, look at this. Look at this. When I first started this game, the first thing you get is like, hi, clean this car. No, not a car, like a golf cart or something. I think that was the first. No, the bus. The bus you drive to get to these places is the first thing you have to clean. And I didn't know you had a different hose. I literally cleaned the entire fucking bus with only this one because I didn't notice that you could, you know, switch hoses. Imagine dying while cleaning. Yeah. I'd rather not. Use the power wash to wash away my sins. Do you play House Flipper? I don't know. No, I don't know where House Flipper is. No. Similar cleaning game. Oh. You clean an entire house. Oh, inside then? Very satisfying. I see. No, this is my first cleaning game that I'm playing. I own another game that I think is about cleaning. It's called Spaceport janitor. I think I've had it for a while now because it kept getting recommended to me, but I've never actually played it. I think that one has a bunch of story in it though. It's not only about cleaning. I think that one has a bunch of story in it. So we want to check this one out. Yeah, when I watched one of the Clean Avengers videos, a few of the videos actually, because I hadn't watched them in a long while. And like I looked at my room and I was like, damn. Obviously my room is not as bad as the people in the videos. But I was like, oh, I should clean my room as well. But it's just this thing, you always only get motivated to do that kind of stuff when you're not really physically able to. Just like, yeah, with my arm right now, I should not try to clean my room. Like, I redid my bed sheets yesterday to sleep in a fresh bed and everything. And that was already a struggle. Because I can't really lift my left arm. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna clean once I feel better. And I just know that once I feel better, I will have forgotten all about cleaning my room and then I will not do it. I get tired because my mom just puts everything. Aww. Well, that's not nice. My mom always complains about me leaving stuff outside of my room, which is not true. It's like I forgot one cable in the living room once, and she's like, you always put your stuff in the living room. Why don't you ever clean up? And I'm like, what? What do you mean? All my stuff is in my room. You have a microwave? What? A microwave? A microwave beside your desk? What? Is it like, can you at least use it? Like... You can use it? Well, you don't use it. But you could. You could use it. Huh? You know, you've heard of people with mini fridges in their room before. Now get ready for people with with microwaves in their rooms. This close to buying a mini fridge today. Well, we have enough fridges at home, I think. We have... Wait, what's the difference between a fridge and a refrigerator? Which one of these is the one where you freeze stuff in? The refrigerator. Freezer. They're the same thing? Eh? Oh my god, why is this so laggy? Why are you making me lag, game? How dare you? Okay, what if I turn on the frames? And turn down the legacy mode? I don't fucking know what all of this means. Ooh. Oh heck. Oh heck. Okay, you can definitely see a difference with the 30 frames, but I'll live. Well, yeah, it's a little better for the stream at least. The freezer units are sold separately. Oh, kitchen appliances in the bedroom. I'm not really someone who drinks cold drinks, so the mini fridges to keep your drinks stored in was never really a thing I would need. But my parents personally like to drink cold. Like, we have, what are they called? Those things where you can put the bubbles in your water. Like you just take the water, your tap water, and put it in this machine, and then go, and now it's sparkly water. Hello, Noel chat. Hello, good evening. And soda stream. Yeah, exactly. We have one of those, and because my parents try to like not buy plastic bottles and stuff, we now also have like Coke you can make yourself with the soda stream. Like, it's a syrup kind of thing you put into your water bottle after you put the bubbles in. I don't know how you say this. And obviously we want cold water for that, so we put the tap water in the bottle, put it in the refrigerator for a while, and then we put the Coke in, and it's like, hell yeah, we made Coke. It costs more per liter, yeah, also have to dry off several bottles of Coke, yeah. Also, we don't really drink that much. It's like we all share one 0.5 liter bottle at dinner, and that's it. Because none of us really are good with it anyway, but we want something that tastes a bit different from just water sometimes. It's a bit of a pain sometimes. Like, I'm the only person at home who still drinks bottled water, because I don't want to go to the tap like several times a day to just get like one drink. It's like sharing a bottle. We obviously don't drink from the same bottle. We put it in a glass. I just mean we share the amount that's in the bottle. We don't share the bottle, no. But I'm a bottle child. I drink bottled water simply because I could just sit here and like immediately. How much is in this one? There's a full liter in this one. I could just chuck that one in an instant. So I refuse to like go downstairs several times an hour just to get some fucking tap water. Shit, to use it when I You could have also gotten several bottles, you know. Oh, a can every day. Ooh. No, never. Never drink a can. Like, my stomach cannot handle Coke in and of itself. It's just I always go for like a few sips because I'm at war with my stomach. I'm like, fuck you. What do you mean you cannot drink this? I will drink it anyway. Obviously I regret it afterwards, but I'm like, no. I want to drink something that is not water. Also, you want a Pikachu?
Pikachu. Beta. Pikachu.
I'm ready to throw hands with my stomach every fucking day, yeah. I mean, it does end in my defeat, because like the very short-lived happiness of drinking something that is not water obviously gets replaced with the horrible feeling afterwards when my stomach decides to kick my ass, but it's worth it in that first moment. It's like when doctors tell me, oh, don't drink too much soda, don't drink too much coffee. I don't drink coffee. I don't even drink tea, because tea does the same thing. It's like, what? It's just water with some fucking leaves. Yeah, well, it does the same thing to my stomach, so I don't drink tea either. It's like, oh, you're sick, you should drink some tea. I'm like, do you want me to be more sick? You've never had coffee either. I mean, I did try coffee sometime, but either the coffee was not made well, like it tasted horrible, or I just don't like, or it's an acquired taste and I just don't like the taste. One of the fancy yum Starbucks. Ah. Oh. Ow. Okay, that headache just got an upgrade. Bless you, thank you. Jesus Christ, bless you, don't break your nose. It's not my... Oh, I felt it in my brain. Thank you. I felt that sneeze in my brain, Jesus. To be fair, I did... When I was in Japan, we went to Starbucks twice. No, 3 times actually, because when at the time we were there, they had a special peach drink that was Japanese exclusive and made with some, I don't know, fancy peaches. And I was like, you know what? Hello, I will be fucking drinking that. There's no way I'm going to get that anytime soon again. And it was very tasty. They had actual real peaches in there to an extent, and the rest was like some kind of soda mix thingy. It was really good. So when we were at the airport on the day when we would go back home, obviously an airport has a Starbucks, right? I just took my last few yen that I had on hand to because I was like, you know what use is there in bringing this money home with me after I already exchanged it? Like, it's not going to be worth anything at home. I might as well spend it on something before we go home. So I spent like my last few yen on getting that one Starbucks peach drink to drink before heading into the airplane. That was fun. I hope the entire COVID situation improves sometime. I really want to, go back to Japan again sometime and go look at other stuff. Because there's only so much stuff you can look at on your first visit. And I'm already lucky I got to see as much as I did, but I want to go again. I mean, there's also other places I want to go to. But I think Japan is still like just getting to see the scenery and everything. I think it's one of my favorite places to physically go to. Because we were never really the people to go on vacation somewhere. It's obviously a money question as well to fly to different places. So that one was a dream come true because I made it happen with my own money. It's like, yes, I am earning money myself. I get to go on vacation with the money I worked hard for. Like, that was really cool. So many cool places, right? We also, we didn't get a chance to go to the Ghibli Cafe. For one. We also wanted to go to Disneyland, but it was hard to get there, because, I've said this before, do not, unless you're from a place where you're used to extreme fucking hot weather, do not go to Japan in the middle of summer. And I mean end of July, start of August, just this timing right now. Do not, unless you're used to really hot weather, because you're going to die. Because that's what happened to me. It had 38 degrees Celsius and I was like fucking dead on the ground, dead. Don't go there if you cannot handle that kind of weather. Because it doesn't cool down. In Germany, at least, it cools down in the night. It could be 30 fucking degrees plus, but in the night it's going to cool down. In Germany, you can go out at night. Missing links, based on what I found so far. Okay, sure. But in Japan, it was the fucking same at night as well. It's 27 right now. It's wow. To be fair, it's 25 degrees in my room right now as well. So I'm hoping it'll cool down soon. Just handle the heat. Well, easier said than done. Though I got used to it. We were there for 3 weeks. I got used to it at some point. You just get used to being all sweaty the entire day, I guess. Hi, good evening. How are you? That is supposed to be monsoon here. What's a monsoon? I think I should know this, but what's a monsoon? Sorry, my single brain cell is trying to clean This is too much to handle right now. It's like, you want me to think and clean? Nah, dude. Big rainstorm, like fucking damn. I don't. Listen, I was never a Tokyo Hotel fan. I was never Tokyo Hotel fan. I'm sorry. Like, I barely know that one song. Yeah. Clean your brain so you can think better. Oh yeah, deep cleaning my brain. No, because like radio and I think so. Don't call me a Tokyo Hotel stand. I know, but I'm just saying. Like, I think every German knows Tokyo Hotel to an extent, but I was never a fan. So I never really looked into what exactly they were singing. And I follow you, but I did not tell you when I think to Tomogi's. Ah, you did! I'm happy you did. Ah! I'm a big Otome game fan, so I'm always happy. I'm always happy if people find me through Otome games. So, like, obviously visual novels are not as niche anymore as they were. But like, whenever it's about Otome games, it's just a little more like We share the same hobby. I like that. You're telling you it becomes smooth brain. My brain is smooth, no wrinkle. Oh man. Holy fuck, how big is this? Oh my god, there's an entire fucking house there! Oh god, have you used the cleaner stuff? I did buy them, and I used them like once on the haunted house, but in the end I felt like it didn't really do much. It's like, I have to go over all this stuff again with a smaller hose anyway. Why should I spend money on these cleaner thingies? Because they only do like a shallow job. I'd rather use the money to buy like a better washer and stuff instead of spending it on the few cleaning thingies. Because in the end you can just brute force it with just water. You don't need them. It would be a different case if you actually needed them, but you can just brute force it. Like, I never have to go over something 5 times. Well, that's just it. I am not looking forward to having to go, you know, over the outside of all of these railings, though. Because, like, none of this is giving me a ping that it's clean, obviously, because the outside is going to look horrible. I have no clue how to reach it. So I'm going to simply ignore that until it's the last thing we have to do. I think my favorite map so far has been the skate rink. Well, it's not a rink, but the skate thingy. Because that one was cool. You had to climb on a bunch of stuff. The scaffolding around. The shoe was weird. Yeah, I know. It's I don't know. It's somewhere, and also there's obviously the leather and everything. The only thing I don't like about the scaffolding is that you can't really turn it unless I don't know, missed it. But you can't turn it, so that's a little weird. Because it's kind of hard to put it down sometimes. You can turn it with X and Y. Oh, really? Oh, god damn it. Okay, good to know. That's good to know, because when I was cleaning the fire department, I was like, how the fuck do I reach some of these places if I cannot turn the fucking scaffolding around? But if you can turn it, that just means that I was
Dump.
But that's nothing new. Didn't know you can turn it! Well, me either! I also did not know. I'm just trying to squeeze next to the tower. Yeah! And you're just trying to like get to every fucking place and you just cannot get closer. Because it's in such a weird spot. Oh my god. How do you... If this person who asked us to clean this is actively working here, how did they let it get so dirty? Like, you cannot tell me that you actually go up here and are like, yeah, sure, I will do my fucking job today if this is what it looks like. Like, you can't even sit down at this table or write down anything.
Oh, my nose is itchy. Excuse me.
The good thing about streaming is that, because I'm so focused on doing this right now and talking to you guys, is that my brain can't really focus on a headache. And it's like, if you don't actively focus on it, it doesn't feel as bad. It's only when you actively think about having a headache that it starts hurting. At least that's it for me. Most of the time it's like, if I don't think about it, sometimes I forget for a while and then something will trigger it again and I'm like, oh fuck, yeah right, my head was hurting. Which is weird. Why are our brains so weird? Like, you're telling me this wrinkly pink mess in my head is doing stuff, is making me say this stuff about itself. Like, what the fuck? That's a weird thought. It's like, yeah, sure, everything I'm saying about this thing, this exact fucking thing is making me say. It's like, okay, no, I'm going to stop thinking about the implications of how much we can say about our own brain. Let's talk about something fun that does not involve brains. Let's talk about games. You are in the way. Can I put you down? I cannot. That's unfortunate. How I'm going to clean if you just lay there? Just have to put it somewhere else, I guess. I wonder how long it will take me to clean this entire place. Like, we're at 26%. There's obviously a lot to clean. It's so much fun. Like, genuinely. I hope that the people who make this get a lot out of it. Because, like, I mean, I'm guessing lots of people are only just, like, buying it for the meme. But also, I think, like, I've only ever seen people play that are genuinely happy about the game. So I hope that the developers gain something from it, that they can make more stuff with it, with this one and other stuff as well. Like, I'm just thinking, imagine you sit there and you're like, you know, there's a bunch of simulators out there, but you know what we haven't seen yet? Power washing. And then it gets this big boom because some big personalities online get interested in it and play it on stream or let's play it or whatever. And you just sit there like with your tiny small game in early access. And it's like, yeah, sure. Why not? Like, I'm an indie games I don't know if they're actually... I guess they count as indie creators. Like, I'm always willing to give an indie game the benefit of the doubt. Always. There's very few indie games that I've played where I was generally just like, okay, well, it's not a good game. They tried, but it's just not a good game. Because most of the time it's like, yeah, no, these people had a vision and they made it come true to the best of their fucking abilities. Whereas I feel like with a lot of AAA games, it's like, I don't know, the passion feels like it has vanished somewhere. Obviously money is a big factor. Obviously you want to make a profit. You don't just want to break even on the cost it takes you to make a game. You want to make a profit as well, but like, where's the passion for your game? Like, I feel that's missing sometimes. Like, not to name anyone. I don't want to talk badly, but like, just generally, I definitely said this before, which is why I prefer very stylized games most of the time, because a game is not good to me just because it looks realistic as hell. Like, okay, yeah, sure, it's nice if the textures are realistic. It's nice if, I don't know, the characters look like real people, I guess. It's cool that you can make particles and blood and water and everything look really realistic and like, but that doesn't constitute a good game. A good game has to be fun, no matter if it looks realistic or not. It's the same.
Hello, good evening.
It's the same gripe I have with people saying that animated movies are somehow less good just because they're animated than real life actors. If only cleaning was this fun IRL, huh? Yeah. If only I could clean my entire room like this. It's just take a water hose and boom, everything is clean. It's like, I think I saw this somewhere just this week because a new Marvel animated one came out about, if it was Marvel, like some superhero thing at least. So people were saying, oh, it's worth a look even though it's animated. I'm just like, what do you mean even though it's animated? Like, you don't have to like animated movies, but why talk badly about them, like as if they're worth less than movies made with real people? Talking about this whole no realism bizarre. Yeah, I'm talking about a lot of things. And right now, I don't know how I got to the realism thing. Like, I vastly prefer animated content. Like, obviously everyone has their own preference. I vastly prefer animated content because you are free to do whatever you want in animated stuff, right? Like, why? I am not going to see a real life movie where a bunch of sparkly stars and stuff fly out of a magic wand like they do in a magical girl anime, obviously, because those are not real. But in an animated movie you can make those look fucking fantastic. And even if you have a movie with real actors and special stuff is happening, you have to use CGI or special effects anyway, and like that's and so why
do people keep saying, oh, it's animated, it's not worth it? Excuse me?
Depends on what kind of brand of realism we're talking about. Like, I just don't think Wargame 569 that comes out every single fucking year is good just because the dirt is now 15 shades of brown instead of just the 13 it had last year. I don't need 360 bronze, but I do enjoy the PS4 high error contrast. Yeah. No, that's valid. Like, I think realism just has to be used correctly. Like, a game like Bloodborne looks fantastic because it knows how to put the stuff there. Well, I mean, obviously the monsters are not realistic, but the entire concept of Bloodborne is very much made realistically, right? Is what I'm trying to say making sense? I hope it is. But like, imagine a game like Splatoon, but with realistic people. Like, that would not work. It just would not work for that kind of game. And why should it have to be? Bloodborne is, yeah, it is. But like, it knows how to play with colors. It's like, obviously Bloodborne is a really dark game, but it's good dark. It's like, atmospheric is the word I'm searching for. You do realize it's just the third person COD. Yeah, but it also has tiny fucking squid kids that shoot color at each other and not, oh no, I just shot my gun and I have realistic recoil and the controller is vibrating in my hands and now I have to reload for the next 15 seconds. And the person next to me just got their brains blasted out and I can see the brain tissue. I don't know if you actually see that in COD, I don't, but you know what I mean. Like, personally, I play video games to, like, escape real life. So, but that's just me. Everyone can have their own preferences. I'm not saying you're wrong for enjoying these games. God knows not. You're not wrong for enjoying these games. It's just me personally, I give the benefit of the doubt to a game that is highly stylized. Because I personally prefer very colorful stuff. I think that's pretty obvious from, like, just look at me. I don't look realistic, right? I am colorful. Like, I have fucking pink hair with orange ends. And I like to draw everything with, like, neon colors and stuff. Like, do I attempt realistic? No. Do I attempt to be realistic? No. Why would I? Huh, no, you're not real. No. I'm sorry to burst your bubble, but I'm not real. I'm not real. Sorry. I only live in this digital world. Wow. Thank you for the higher time. I like when releasing busy higher accurate reload and physical models not go. Yeah. Yeah, I'm well, I think the argument is out right now and like big again. Like, because those animators have to watch the real life stuff to make it in a game, and like, why would someone have to watch excessive amounts of hours of gore to replicate it as realistically as possible? Like, that's horrible. That's horrible. The game about mass murdering demons from hell is not realistic? What do you mean? I go mass murdering demons every second Wednesday. Also, just a second. Finally, I can let some air into my room because the sun is going down, so it's not as warm anymore, I think. Also, where did my music go? Is the music already over? It is! Damn. Super Mario 64 creepypasta about Mario's drowning animation being based on real-life reference. Like, real-life referencing. Yes, thanks, Drain. Wouldn't be a newest stream without a train. Oh, it's a long one. Hello, Train Kun. Who needs Truck Kun to isekai themselves when you have newer streams and train?
Oh my god, there's so much.
No, but really, I just get upset with people who think animated media is just immediately inferior to realistic stuff or stuff with real people. I just always think like, wow, you sure like being small-minded, huh?
Oh, I forgot this part. Oh.
One good thing, by the way, I did not lose my voice after karaoke stream. I'm doing pretty well. So that's nice. Oh, you know what we could do sometime as well? Because, you know, I found out why Mirror's Edge did not work that one time, and I fixed it. So I can definitely stream that sometime again. Well, maybe not when I have a headache, because I think that game with its fast as fuck movement would not help a headache in any way. Suddenly forgot how to read. That's true. To be fair though, if you're not used to singing for an extended period of time, or like full songs without proper training, you will just simply breathe wrong. And like when I sing to myself, I always only sing parts of songs. I don't really do the whole song, and I mean I sat there for like 3 hours trying to sing full songs. So I'm not a professional by any means. I don't know how you sing professionally. I never had any singing lessons or anything like that. I wanna know what doing Doom Eternal horribly, I think. You know how missing link fact is sometimes called Bigfoot because of the big one foot, kinda like a bear's. The other one's small like a cat's. I found track evidence of this myself. Congratulations. I don't think I would do well in Doom Eternal. You know how bad I am at shooters. And Doom Eternal is all about shooting demons and fighting demons, right? Ultra Nightmare Run Go? No. Listen, I already have a bet going with a friend. Like, if he draws Noah in Bloodborne, I will have to play Bloodborne. And he said he's working on it. He already has an idea on how to do that. So I think I already doomed myself to one game where I'm going to suffer a lot. I don't really want to actually play Doom. The first jump and climb section is just Hey, now you're just being rude. You would be doomed. Yeah, I would be doomed. I would be doomed. I told you guys about my first and only Bloodborne experience, right? There's those dogs at the start of the game. I could not get past them. It's like, I think there's this part where you're like in that weird street and they're like, oh, don't let anyone see you, they're going to attack you, and I could not get through there. And then one time I finally fucking did it. I just ran from absolutely everything, and then those weird dogs came around the corner and I died. I was like, you know what, maybe I will not play this game. Doom Eternal's part platform. Ugh, why would you do this to me? We're all very much aware that I'm not good at platforming, so why would you tell me to play a platformer? What did I ever do to you? New platforming redemption stream. I play every platformer I own and cry. Like, as soon as I die in a platformer, I have to switch to the next game that is a platformer. Oh, I wonder how many games we would have to go through in one stream. Failed miserably at Tomb Raider, first coming against the wolves. You prefer visual? Me too. I prefer visual novels because I can just sit down and the only thing I have to do is press enter repeatedly. And I still get good stories. Because of the soundtrack. Wait, what soundtrack? Bloodborne soundtrack? Because we're like, you're suffering. Gee, thanks. Doom soundtrack. Ah, I see. I mean, to be fair, another game that I am greatly interested in because of the soundtrack is Devil May Cry 5. I was about to say Dramatical Murder, but that's not the game I meant. Completely different genre here. Devil May Cry 5, because from what I heard of that soundtrack, that one slaps. And also I think the black-haired twink is really cute, but I will not play Devil May Cry, because if I try to play Devil May Cry, it's just going to be Nua will cry. Nua plays Devil May Cry, Nua will cry. Definitely. Not just May, but definitely. Steam library is open anytime. I know. Wait, do you own Devil May Cry on Steam? Is that even out on Steam? I thought it was like a PlayStation exclusive. Whoa! Way, we did the deck! No plays the first Devil May Cry and curse Resident Evil. No! Resident Evil. You know, all of these big names that I know just the name of, but I never played these. Never. It's so funny to me. It's like, oh, don't you know classic Resident Evil? I'm just like, no, what now? And curses Resident. Okay, he's not Resident Evil. Like, I did look at the. I think I watched. Wait, who did I watch it play it? I watched a full playthrough of the new Resi. Ah, Gab's playthrough I watched. Of Resi. And her playthrough was really interesting to watch because she didn't really rush through it, but just took the time to explore everything. And she's a very calming person to watch, in my opinion. So I watched the entire Resi. Then I'm just like, what the fuck is happening? Because apparently you need like some knowledge from the other games to understand Resi. Resident Evil, what is it, 7? The one with big woman. And I did not know that. I thought every Resident Evil was just like a standalone thing. Just like, okay, well, this is our first Resi and this is our second Resi. And I feel like... Oh, Resi 8, okay. And I feel like my bot is saying this thing a little too often. It's a direct sequel to 7. Oh, I see. Well, that makes sense that you should have seen 7, I guess. Well, I just wanted to know what all the hype was about, why everyone was like, oh, everyone's playing this game. Look. But it's not really my thing. Like, it was fun to watch, but I don't think I'll lay my hands on that one to try myself. There's this one huge timeline. I see, okay. I mean, it does kind of make sense, but there's so many things that are like, well, yeah, we are naming it 1, 2, 3, but they don't actually have anything to do with the other like, the Final Fantasy series. Like, obviously, there's concepts that repeat in Final Fantasy, but you don't need to have played Final Fantasy VII to understand Final Fantasy 15, right? Like, you obviously should have played Final Fantasy 13 to also understand 13-2 and Lightning Returns, which makes sense because that's a trilogy, but... Obviously, I'm not a Final Fantasy expert because the only Final Fantasy I play is 14, and the only other one I have played to an extent is 15. I say I played to an extent despite having seen the ending on my own fucking PS4, but it wasn't me who played it. I had a friend play the entire fucking game for me. Because I spent close to 10 hours and I wasn't even in chapter 2 yet. Because I didn't realize that in Final Fantasy 15, there's this thing. You start the game, you get the basic story. It's like, hi, you're going on a road trip with your friends, you're the prince. And then between chapter 1 and chapter 2 of the game, the movie happens. I have seen the movie before, so I know what's happening. And me, on my own playthrough, I never took the car. I walked everywhere. I never took the car because I always was thinking like, no, what if I run out of gas and the car is stranded somewhere? And I never, like, to get to chapter 2, you have to go to a boat and do like one really small quest to get, and then that's when the movie starts happening, and then the real game starts. Like, you don't even have enemies on the map yet. In chapter 1. And I spent 10 hours in that one chapter without realizing, maybe I should go to the boat. And, trigger more of the main story. And that is my experience with Final Fantasy 15. And then a good friend of mine who has played through the game several times by now, who also explained the entire story to me before, so it's not like I don't know the story, played through the entire game for me in 11 hours. Like, I was just sitting there watching basically a speed run where we only did a very, very small amount of side quests to get some levels and items, and we were super under level to find anything. So we used a bunch of Phoenix Downs, and I'm the type of person who always collects everything. You guys know this. I collect everything and then I never use the items. And my friend is like, well, I have the items, I'm going to fucking use them, right? So I sit there watching him do a really big boss fight and just Phoenix Down, Phoenix Down, Phoenix Down. His way through it and just sitting there like... But yeah, that's my experience with Final Fantasy 15. It's still generally one of my favorite Final Fantasies. I mean, granted, it's one of the only ones I know, but like, I genuinely like the game and the characters very much. I'm not a fan of the ending. Wait, you can use the items? I mean, I'm aware I can use the items. It's just that I just hoard everything all the time. Your experience with Final Fantasy 15 is Regalia being in Forza Horizon. True! It was also in Final Fantasy 14, because they had a crossover event, and I missed it because I started playing, like, again, like, I got a sub to play again, like, a day after it ended, or like a week after it ended, but I think they're bringing it back. They said that they would rerun it, so I still have a chance to get the car. You had that too? Yeah. Is a pet, do you just... No! It's it's an actual mount. You can put 4 people in there. Like, if you're in a party, you can get 4 people in there. It's a 4-party mount. 4-people mount. It's a literal thing you can drive around and fly around on that, in that. Your version is funny. I mean, that's true. It's like the, you know, those pictures of people who go through the Mac drive, or like to a drive-through with the cardboard car around them, and like, well, we're a car. Can we order? Because apparently they're not allowed to get you something if you stand in a drive-through. Like if you're not in a vehicle, you're not allowed. They're not allowed to give you anything. Because I saw a video of a girl in her wheelchair go through the drive-through, and she was like, "Hi, is this allowed? Can I get my meal?" And they were like, "Well, technically, I guess. Here you go." Cleaning stream, nice.
Yeah, we're cleaning.
We're cleaning because I don't want to use my brain. I don't want to use my brain right now.
Oh, so hi. I hope you're good.
Oh, what is all this? It's all rusty. Damn, I need to use the smaller hose. Saying you want to stream some chill today. Ah. Yeah. I'm just waiting for my body to get tired again, honestly. I'm happy I'm feeling awake enough to do this right now. But I didn't really trust myself when trying to do a full Ace Attorney stream. I mean, to be honest, I could have also just, you know, made a pause or like put a stop to Ace Attorney, but I really want to like finish the episodes in one go whenever I stream them. And I don't, like, if I suddenly feel bad while doing this, I can just go, okay, well, enough cleaning, but I can't really, I don't want to do that in Ace Attorney. Maybe you do something tomorrow. Yeah! I can't watch you playing Ace Attorney. Ah! Oh, but you don't need to have played the older games to play Great Ace Attorney, actually. Because those play like several not millennia before the main series. Like it's all different characters. It's not even like a sequel. It's literally just some other people doing the same stuff, like being in court and everything. Several millennia. Psst. It plays in 1800. Leave me alone. Great Ace Attorney is a standalone. Yeah. Prehistoric Phoenix, right? So it's like if you're worried about spawning yourself for the technically older games, you won't, because this one plays before them. So no worries about that. Though I'm obviously not forcing you to come. Oonga boonga, red and blue. He's gonna fly. Oh no, red is accused of oonga boonga. Ah! Centuries, not millennia. Yeah. Yeah, I was missing the word for centuries. Thank you. So I just said the next best thing that came to mind. Good thing I have you guys. You want to play the new one blind as well? That's very valid. I'm also playing it blind. It's so fascinating. Like, despite it being around for so many years. Plays around 1900? No, I think it's 1800 something. Well, closer to 1900, but still. It was the body chats the brain, exactly. You all brought your brain cells because you thought it would be Ace Attorney tonight, didn't ya? So now I'm making use of them. How much of a brain I am. I mean, I also haven't finished all of the older Ace Attorneys yet. I still have to finish Spirit of Justice before my 3DS completely gives out. Like, I think it's on its last legs. But it's already been... Wait, I started in 2018. So it's already been almost 3 years since I started Spirit of Justice. I don't know why I never finished it. I just one day didn't touch the 3DS again, and I haven't touched it since, so like... I forgot Yunosuke's real name. Well... yeah? Yunosuke is a real name, yeah? Oh, I'm so glad they kept the names as they originally were in, like, at least for the main characters. Because, completely different game, but in Tears of Themis, these characters have so many names because they have the original Chinese names, then they have the Japanese names because the Japanese dub uses different names, and then they got like localized names for the English, for the global release that I'm playing right now. So I'm playing a Chinese game in English but with the Japanese dub. And I just sit there like, yeah, sure, this guy, they're calling him Izumi K in Japanese in the dub, but his English name is Marius von Hagen. And I don't actually know what his Chinese name is. I'm just sitting there like, when I try to find stuff of him, for him online, I'm just like, what fucking name do I even look for? Because there's so many that they make him go by. Atom Wing, yeah! It's funny thing about just play Spirit of Justice to Krita, yeah. Wait for a long period anymore. The thing is, I have 2 3DSs actually. I could just play it on the second one. The second one is not as in such a bad shape, but there's this software library on the 3DS that counts your playtime, how often you've started a game, and I just like looking at it because it's cool to look at. I'm sad that the Switch doesn't have such an extensive one, because the one on 3DS was really cool. And I don't want to play Spirit of Justice on the other one, simply because then I wouldn't have all of them in the same library anymore. Which is just a me problem, but that's literally the only reason I'm not playing it on the other 3DS. Marius' Chinese name is Lu Jing. I will not pronounce it because I always pronounce Chinese names wrong, I'm sorry. The Wii U had a nice child for this as well. True. To be fair, I only bought my Wii U for Splatoon and I didn't really use it for anything else, like literally. Can I reach this from here? I can! Check out how hard I can wash. Check out my playtime. I was the 3 years. I'm really ergonomics of brick. I mean, I also still have to finish replaying all of the Professor Layton games on my 3DS. Because it looks cool if you look at all of the icons in the software library next to each other. I think it's really cool. I can't reach this from here. This is cool. Okay, well, okay, there's only so far I can go, I guess. Okay. Okay, let's go somewhere else. Let's go clean. Let's clean the outer side, I guess. Ah! Well, that was fast. I'm so ready for Splatoon 3 to come out sometime next year. I mean, everyone's speculating it to be like summer, I guess. Though I would also be very happy if it gets like a spring release. Because, yeah, Splatoon 2 exists. You can still very much play Splatoon 2, but I think at this point everyone who's playing Splatoon is like either someone who actually got it just now for whatever reason, or people who have been playing it non-stop since it came out in the literal pros, because there's no content updates to it anymore. I mean, they already made like several final Splatfests despite them saying, okay, we're only going to make so many Splatfests and then stop. But now, there's really no more updates. And I don't really... I want to play it to have fun and not go up against like people that will murder me on sight. Splatoon 3 is aside from Endward, the only thing I look forward to. Some people came back into my life because of Splatoon 3, really? Hi, remember me? You have bad memories of me, but I'm going to come back into your life now? Jesus. No, but like, if Splatoon 3 comes out and it's like, I don't know, when does Nintendo release their games? It feels like it's mostly on Thursdays. I might actually try and get the day off. And then I'm going to make a fucking long Splatoon stream. When I got the first Splatoon game, the first 2 days I played it 12 hours and then 11 hours. Like in one go. I had, I think, 400 something hours on the first Splatoon. On the second one I only have 200 and something because I didn't play it as much. But I generally have more hours on Splatoon than I do on Animal Crossing. Max level by the end of the second day, right? In the original Splatoon, they put like max level to level 20 because they were like, oh, people aren't going to play it that much. But literally everyone hit max level in such a short amount of time that they were then like, I guess we need to raise it, and then raise it to 50, and people still reached 50 way too fast. So in Splatoon 2 they made a completely different leveling system, which is making it harder to gain levels. But even so, there's people who are something over 100. And like, if they are over 100, they get this little star next to the level. Missing link fact, they deposit their scat in bundles much like a wild hog, with which they apparently share an identical diet. Okay, congratulations. It's like, I have not reached level 50 in the second Splatoon. I think I'm at 44 or something. Something along those lines. But without Splatfest or anything, the incentive to play is really low. Like, it's still very much a great game, but it's like, well, I have several hundreds of other games I also still have to play that are not endless. That's my problem with online games, that they're endless. I'm like, well, I have several hundreds of games that have a fixed story that I need to reach the end of, so I'd rather play those again. Also to extensive single play again. To be fair, I did not finish the single play in Splatoon 2. It is completed on my profile, yes, but that wasn't me who played it. I asked a friend to play it because I could not get past one of the earlier sniper levels. Because they forced you to play different weapons on specific stages in the Splatoon 2 single player, and I could not get through it. Like, I'm a one-trick pony in Splatoon 2. I can only play a singular weapon type. I cannot play the snipers, and then they force you to do those in a level, and I could not get through the level at all. So I gave up. I took the Switch to a friend, was like, hi! Would you like to play this game for me? And he was like, sure. So he did it for me. I really liked the single player in Splatoon 1, but the 1 and 2 drove me insane. Yeah, I like the 1 and 1 too. He finished every station, every weapon. Yeah, I know. I don't know how you did that. I could not. I played the Octo expansion as well. I was like, you know what? I give up. That single player thing is just not for me. I'd rather fight against real people because those stages made me so mad. We also tried the secret fight in the Octo expansion, but my friend also got so frustrated with it because he was so close to doing it every time, but then something happened and he died. So to this day I don't really know what happens after you finish the secret fight in Splatoon 2. Yeah, I mean, to each own. If you liked it, that's good. I'm just so interested in seeing what Splatoon 3 story is going to be like, because like we got rid of the French apparently. Like, what? Hello? Why is the Eiffel Tower down there? No more France! Finally we're free! Oh my god! So many places to clean.
Clean. Whoosh, whoosh.
Still haven't played the Octo expansion. Oh my god. I have to clean all of that, yeah. Oh Jesus. Let's just clean the underside and see where we go from there. We're getting somewhere. Had a bunch of stuff hinting at humanity being extinct. Yeah! That they do. I think it's confirmed actually that humanity is extinct. Like in the first it was only hinting, but in the second I think it was actually confirmed. It's confirmed, yeah. I mean, which is so valid. That's so valid. Like, no more need for humans. Only squids now. And octolings. What I loved the most about Splatoon 2 was the changes to the hair. Like, fucking finally more than one hairstyle, and the short tentacle hairs and everything. That's so cute. I love them. And the jellyfish.
Yeah.
I just hope whoever originally came up with Splatoon 2, or Splatoon in it itself, got something out of it. Like, I don't think... Well, maybe they were expecting it to boom, but not this much. So I hope that whoever originally drafted the idea is actually getting their money's worth, because it's so cool. It's such a great IP, and I'm glad that they made it. Typical Nintendo move. Look at these happy squid kids playing with color. Also, everyone you love is dead. I mean, the cat is the last survivor, I guess. But the cat is also kind of immortal for some reason. But I think the cat still knew humans. So I don't really know how that works. I'm just hoping there's going to be a bunch of cool new clothes. And maybe some crossovers as well. Like we had that Ika Musume crossover in Japan. Judge has looked into the episode 1, yeah! The guy got frozen. Ah, that's why. Oh no, what if he ever dies though? Like he's the last, right?
Hello TK, good evening.
Yes, thank you, bot. I have a Discord server. Maybe I need to turn on the frequency on those messages.
Hi again, hi! Thank you for the higher time. Just a second.
No, but like for real, Splatoon is one of those series that genuinely made me so happy when it came out. I mean, I did buy an entire console pretty much just for that one game. Obviously the Wii U had some other games as well, but I don't own any. I think. Wait, I own one? Sorry if you don't speak much, but you're still not good. That's perfectly fine, no worries. What other languages do you speak? Because I only speak English and German, so I can only offer you German. If you have trouble saying something in English, you can say it in German. I'll try my best to translate it so everyone can understand if you want. We bought an entire console for that. We sure did. Wait, I have one other game. Wait, what is it? Oh, right. Right. You know what other game I own for the fucking Wii U? The Animal Crossing Amiibo Festival. I don't even own Animal Crossing Amiibos. Nor do I have any friends locally that could play the game for me because it's just Mario Party but with Animal Crossing characters. So I don't know why I did that. Remember when we all thought you speak Spanish? Oh, that's nice. Why was the game even a thing? To make money, I guess. To make money. Like, I own a few amiibos because I think they're really cute, but it is a bit upsetting. Like, I think the worst part is the thing about the Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword remake amiibo thing. Or like HD port, whatever it is exactly. Like, you have to buy an amiibo to use that flying ability everywhere or something. Like, what the fuck is that move, Nintendo? It didn't even... Yeah, it didn't really sell. But it did bring out a bunch of Animal Crossing amiibos for pretty much all of the characters. Also, I lied. I do own Animal Crossing amiibos, just not every single one of them. Like, I own 2 of Isabelle and Digby, like her brother, and I own... You're learning English so you can communicate better. That's really good. Also, from what you've said, your English sounds perfectly fine. Metroid Samus Returns to lock the entire difficulty? What kind of move is that? Hi, you want to play this on a higher difficulty? Sure, buy our amiibo. What? Why would you spend money to play it? What? The fuck? You still have to beat the game anyways. You know how in Blaze Blue, I know you never bought the versions that were not complete yet, but in some of the Blaze Blue games, there's like several characters you could download as DLCs, right? And there was one DLC, I don't remember who it was, who was like way cheaper than the others. You know the reason why? Because you had to play through the arcade mode to unlock him. But if you bought the DLC, you could have him immediately. And to this day, I still don't know what kind of move that is. I just know that I did not read up on it correctly, and I bought it because I thought he was a normal DLC character. Until I found out that I would just have to play through the arcade mode or something. Kagura unlocked up the story. No, it was an earlier game, I think. Not Kagura. I think it was... maybe. I don't remember. to be able to play at home since they're mostly in English and Japanese. That's true, that's true. I'm very glad that I can speak English and I use English so much, because I have no idea how I would navigate games or the internet if I could only play them in German. Like, I don't even know how many of the games I regularly play are even out in German, because it's not really something I look for in games anymore. My neighbor were the oldest one, I think she's 13 now, plays a bunch of Fortnite, asked me if I had any game recommendations on the Switch, like single player stuff that would work offline, because they had the same internet problems we have, and she was stuck there. She could not play anything because all of her games are like online, and like that's why she wanted to know if I have any game recommendations. I'm just like, I have no clue what games I own that I could recommend to a 13-year-old that are available in German on the Switch. Like, I don't think I own anything that fits that criteria, right? Like, what do I own? I own so many games. One of my favorite franchises could only play Metroid and Devil May Cry in German. Oh. Yeah, I'm just like, what games do I even own that are available in other languages? Because, like, to me it's like, hell, if it's available in English, I'll play it in English. That's perfectly fine. Everything else doesn't really matter to me anymore. Why is that thing not getting clean? Oh god. Because it's still really icky.
Come on. Get clean. Become clean.
Come.
Get.
Well, whatever. Hey, German if available in such a is good. Yeah. I mean, I would love to play games in Japanese someday, but I have to sit down and actually get to learning Japanese. Like, for real, and not just, I do one single Duolingo lesson a day. Because that won't teach me Japanese. You have to go, that's perfectly fine, thank you for coming! Thank you!
Yeah.
I refuse to get that fucking stool. Why won't you get clean? I'm going to scream.
Come on. Ah.
See, now we're getting to the frustrating parts. But should be nice to play the stuff I imported away. Yeah. If I could play... If I could choose, you know, to speak more languages, I think I would choose Japanese and Chinese simply so I could play every single game I own. Because I sure did buy a Japanese game, a Chinese game, just because the art is nice, despite me never going to be able to, you know, read Chinese. It's like, well, but it looks nice. So what do... Oh, I can... You're right, you can turn it around. What the fuck? That would have been nice to know earlier. The good thing about the Chinese game is that it also has a Japanese dub, so if I understood Japanese, I could at least, you know, understand the parts where they are voiced, but I'm just sitting here like, yeah. I sure spent money on a game I'm never going to be able to read. Ever. Like a dumbass. But it looked cool. I think learning languages is a lot of fun. It's just the sticking with it part that's really hard. Because there's so many excuses you can find. Just like, oh, I don't have time. I have to work. I don't have time for this. Or ba 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 ba. There's so many excuses you can find for yourself that why you don't keep at it. And I'm just sitting there like, so I don't know why this is happening. I'm not actually turning around or anything. I'm just moving the mouse. I'm guessing I'm somehow spinning in place. You know, these I have the justification of being cliffhanged. Well, listen. I do wonder if they're ever going to translate the one DLC case for Unheard. Because I was generally so surprised how good that game was. Like, honestly, I did not think it would be that good. I don't know if I said that when I first played it. But it was so cool. And like the English dub was really good. The cases were really cool. It's like, yeah, you have to listen to find out what happens. And despite the one DLC that really left me confused as hell, it was a generally falling amazing game. So if they're ever going to translate that one DLC case, that is apparently also once again almost the full length of the normal game, I am definitely going to play it. I just don't know when it's coming or if they have plans to do it, because it's obviously a money issue. They have to find people to voice it in English as well. Again. Because it kind of relies on you being able to understand what the people are saying. Otherwise it's going to be very hard to make out who's doing what and who was being where. I think I should move here. Oh my god, there's so much we still have to clean, Jesus. But this brings me back to my, you know, indie game thing from earlier. It's like, this is why I try to give them the benefit of the doubt and just play them, see what happens. And most of the time it turns out to be pretty amazing games. Like, I don't think I would normally find something like Unheard recommended somewhere. I don't actually remember where I found it. I think a friend of mine had it on the wish list. But it's like, I don't even know. Like, okay, you solve crimes. Maybe that's why. It's like, oh, Mystic fact. The scent is very much like that of a muskrat, and they seem to crouch right down while marking their territory to appear much smaller than they really are. Okay. The muskrats on my stream. There's so many games I want to play, but I don't want to start too many games at once. Because then I feel like I'm never going to finish any. I already feel so bad that I keep pushing 2-3 away. Because I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I still haven't found a way to complete the game yet. I don't know how to get past that stupid water dragon. So that's fun. Right now I just have the excuse of Ace Attorney being on the time slot. And I want to play Miroru this year still. So I'm going to have to find a way to finish Tottori sometime soon. Otherwise, I think that's not going to work out. Time-wise. We've already gotten so far. I really don't want to just sit down and get the normal ending. Especially because I now know that the character that appears after you get through the fucking water dragon becomes a big character in Atelier Lulua. So like, I would sure love to know what that's about. Even if I don't plan on playing Lulua that soon. Would be cool to know that when I eventually get to Atelier Lulua and we see that character, I'd be like, oh, we know you from Tottori. And we actually know what you were doing in Tottori. Okay, how do I put this one down? Like this? No. There we go. Oh my god! Still so dirty. On a completely different note. The Chinese web novels that I think I've talked about before, written by author MXTX, are getting an official English release sometime this year still. I think the first one at least is getting a release this year. Like an actual printed version in English, and the people who originally did the fan translation are working together with the publishers to, you know, rework it, make it a bit better, make it more professional, since it was only a fan translation. And that means I can buy these books and put them in my bookshelf, and I'm already looking forward to that because the third one is literally longer than the Bible. So I am very interested in seeing how they're going to print that. Like, oh, what you got there? A book. Okay, sure. Like, it's longer than the fucking Bible. Like, how many books can call themselves longer than the Bible? I mean, there's probably some others out there as well, but like, this is the only one I've read so far. Where it's just one book and not a series of books, but just one book. That is longer than the Bible. And I think that's genuinely very impressive. And it has... The front bar said you always have a weapon on standby. I mean, to be fair, the Splatoon art books are also very much weapons, and I already have both of these. So I think if anyone ever... I think if you wanted to kill someone with these, you could. You just need to be careful not to get hurt yourself, because they're so big. But I think if one of those fell down on your head, you're going to get hurt really badly. I have no clue what song that is playing in the background. I just put in a playlist so we would have some music. Because if I put on just my music randomized, we would be here with a bunch of different genres all playing interchange, like we would be switching genres very often, and I didn't really want to do that tonight. Ah, I'm so fucking done with this stupid underside. It's annoying. Mood. I'm gonna attempt the stairs. That looks to be more fun, at least. Stuff is at least getting clean when I do the surface staircase.
Blah 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 blah.
I'm just sad that it's making everything so laggy. I haven't had that problem in a while. You know what another type of genre is that I never really got into? I don't know what the genre is called, but like the Pokemon Mystery Dungeon games, right? What is that kind of genre called? Because I remember I own one of them. I think. And I was always so scared I would die in these dungeons. I never really got very far. I don't know why, as a child, I was always so scared I would die in games. It's so weird to me. Like, when I look back on it, I was like, I never attempted to do boss fights because I was scared I would die. Even though the game is just like, you know, you can try again. I never did. You have playlists. Well, I don't have playlists. I don't have playlists for my stuff. I just press play on whatever the last song I heard was, and then I let YouTube do its magic of showing me similar songs. Though, to be fair, most of the time the songs are not actually that similar. YouTube just brings me songs I've listened to before over and over and over, even if they have nothing to do with each other, so it's not really that good. You have one place and it's called Leaving the City in a Car Stereo. I do not have a CD in the car right now because it would get hot during the day. And I'm scared of it getting damaged if I did that. But technically I do have one Baby Metal album and one Bandmate album in my car. You see, that's just roguelike, JRPG hybrid thing. Oh, okay. That's an interesting combination for sure. To be fair, my most favorite Pokemon spin-off game is the third, I think it's the third Rangers. Like, genuinely. For one, because it's the only one I own. And two, because I love the character design so much. Like, of the main character. I always chose the girl because she's so cute. I don't know if I ever finished the game, but I love the character designs. Of what? Oh my god, that's a camera! I thought there was something standing there. Jesus Christ. So unique fan just to refer the whole thing as Mystery Dungeon. I see. Well, it certainly is unique, yeah.
How long is the staircase? Jesus!
We've been here for 2 hours already. Kind of a situation without being a platform fan, subscribe to subgenres Metroidvania. Ah, I see. Yeah, I never really thought about what kind of genre Metroid would be. It's just like when you tell someone that's Metroid, they generally know what you're referring to. I never really thought about this genre. Genre.
Raw means I love you and dinosaur. Oh my god.
Someday I will be done with this map. But I generally don't know if that's going to be today. It doesn't look that bad. It's like, okay, 89% cleaned, right? There can't be that much left, but haha. You would be wrong about that.
Oh, 90%.
Officially, it's action platform or Prime. In Prime's case, FPS. Listen, I have no clue about the Metroid games. I know that the Metroid Prime exists, but I cannot actually tell you which one that is. Like, I don't know what that looks like. I just know that Samus is hot. That's all that really matters to me. Women. Looks like an episode. That's... Well, that's not what I was referring to. I was more referring to like how it's what Samus looks like in that one. Okay, listen, I'm actually getting tired of these songs. What the fuck is that? It's only when I tap back into the game that I start lagging. I see how it is.
Please don't hit me with the copyright.
But this band is called Polka Dot Stingray. I really like the music. Also, the vocalist is really pretty.
I'm too short to reach. No.
You tell me the game's in first person, so we don't really see her. Oh, I see. I don't see, I guess. Well, like I said, it's never really been my kind of game. Never really been a game series I was interested in. I'm going to stick to my simulation games. My simulation games and my visual novels. I think that's more me. Surprisingly, I have never played a single Harvest Moon game. I say surprisingly because I feel like everyone who likes Animal Crossing has played Harvest Moon at some point or likes Harvest Moon. But I have never done so. I don't know. It was never really my thing. I think the whole prospect of having to care for an entire farm and stuff turned me off. Because I like the interpersonal relationships, but I didn't really want to take care of a farm and build it up to be this really big thing. You played neither. Yeah. You see what 100% of gaming aspect. And that's just so many people like when you look for games that are similar to Animal Crossing, lots of people would recommend you Harvest Moon, but personally I don't agree. Because I don't think they're very similar at all. Like, you have the entire farming aspect and then building interpersonal relationships, and you can romance people, but I don't really see how that is similar to Animal Crossing. Like, the only similarity I see is that they're both simulation games, but of completely different genres. But that's just my opinion, I guess. But that's also the reason I could not get into Stardew Valley. I tried it, but the time would go by so fast, and I felt pressure to do so many things, like build a farm, blah blah blah, and then meet people, get to know people. I was like, okay, nope. Because what I enjoy about Animal Crossing is the real-time aspect, because they don't force you to anything. It's like, you can do whatever you want. Pretty much all day long. You can obviously try and fish every single fish there is. But you don't have to. Yes, the game obviously gives you stuff for if you do it. But it never... Oh, wait! The entire handrail is still dirty. But the game never forces you to do those things. And like, in those farming games, I always feel pressure to do all of the things. Even though they don't actually force you to do that either, I guess. It's just me going, oh no, I need to do everything to 100% immediately on the first try. But I'm glad that so many people found Stardew Valley to be something that I enjoy. I don't mean to talk badly about the game, it just wasn't for me. But I can see why it would be so enjoyable for so many other people. You were still waiting for the cafe? Yeah! Honestly, I feel like even if they bring the cafe now, I wouldn't even be that interested in getting back into Animal Crossing. Because it's just been too long. It's just been too long. I've tried several times to rebuild my island. And I never really finish it. For one, because I'm still thinking, oh no, what if more places show up that we can put somewhere, like the cafe and stuff, and then I'd be stuck, because I already planned out everything else, and then I'd have to rework it somehow. Is this part of the handrail? Yeah, it is. Where's the dirt? Oh my god, the dirt's everywhere. I'm wondering how far you can get Stardew Valley without finding a farm that... That's a good question. I mean, you should be able to get somewhere at least, right? Oh my god, all of this is still dirty, are you kidding me? Damn. I did not see all that dirt. Come on. There's actually a lot of different options to get money for foreign fishing and mining. I'm trying to only collect stuff from the garbage cans for an entire year. That's always so funny. It's like the game is designed for you to just do this one thing, and then people try to get around it by doing so many others. I think that's always fun. Come on! You're almost clean, aren't you? Reminds me of didn't this one guy also like try to get to level 99 in the first island, on the first island of Kingdom Hearts? Because it is possible, it just takes a horrendously long time. He did it, right? He did get to level 99. I think technically you could do that in a Persona game as well, in Persona 5. Because like if you're in a palace and you don't go out, time won't actually pass. Time will only pass, like a day will only pass once you get out. So technically you could spend lots and lots of hours in just the first palace to grind yourself up. I mean, I don't know what the point of that would be, but you could probably do it. And like I say this as someone who also likes to, you know, grind a little to always be just a tad stronger than the enemy, so I have an easier time with fights. I say just a tad, but it's like I always try to level up. Like, I don't know, something like 5 or 10 levels higher, just so the fights are easier. It's like, oh, have you seen this really great fighting mechanic in the game? Like, the what now? Because I enjoy fights the most if it's just like I get to hit the enemy and the enemy dies. Like, oh, there's this entire combo system. Ba 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 ba. You what? I hit it and it died. What? That's how I enjoy my JRPGs. I hit it and it dies. Oh, but there's this entire extensive combo system you can get into and skills. And like, do the skills make me hit it harder so it dies faster? Oh, cool. I mean, the other way around is playing Dark Souls 1 to 3, Bloodborne and Demon Souls in a row without leveling up and not getting hit. Oh, Jesus. Which someone did. I mean... Sure. I mean, if it's fun... I know that you can get through Dark Souls, and there's a lot of people who go play through Dark Souls by just dodging everything, but like... Okay. I'll just think to myself, as long as it's fun, that's good enough. Oh my god! How much is there still? But imagine this in real life. You spray this water above your head. You would probably get wet as hell because it would drip down. It can be nice. All of these things are also still not clean. I have to clean all of these somehow. What the fuck? How? Oh my god. It looks so clean, but it's not clean yet. Makes me mad. Okay, what's this here? Aha, the outer side that is not yet clean. So that one then. It's some success stories in here. I cannot believe how long I've been sitting here. Oh wow, wait, I have not done that side of the house at all. Oh, I should get in on that. I completely forgot about it, not gonna lie. Whoops. Hehe. Imagine you tell this person like, oh right, I'm done, and they just see that one side of the house completely forgotten, like, Oh, I forgot that side existed. Whoopsie. I guess I cannot clean the entire thing without moving this. No, I can't. Okay, time to move it. A good thing to know that I can turn it around. There we go. Should be a good place. I would like to finish doing this whole thing on stream, not gonna lie. But I think if the things that we're missing are just going to be the underside there, I'm just gonna stop. As soon as we have done everything else. Because I don't feel like searching for little pixels right now. Oh, I need to move it again. No! Ugh. How can I reach it? Maybe I can reach it. No. No, I'm not lazy. What do you mean? I don't want to move. Thank you for the hydrate time. And the posture check. Ah! Yeah, the posture check is needed. Ow. Sitting like a shrimp. What? Oops. Falling in slow motion. I want. Oh! Oh, there's an entire waterfall. Nice. That's cool. I have never seen a waterfall in real life. Sadly. Though I also don't know of any places that would have waterfalls that I could easily get to. Move. I am moving. Does Germany have places that have waterfalls, like actual fucking waterfalls, and not just like a tiny stream of water coming down a rock? Maybe. Why is there so much dirt and why can I not reach it? You do actually, but not so many. Ooh. I don't live close to water, so I wouldn't know. Also, this one is so fucking funny. Look at it. Like, how do you clean with this? I don't know, but it moves funny. Meow. Oh, there's a bunch of dirt there. Oh. Oh, I haven't done this entire side yet. Whoops, should probably change that. I just wish you could walk a little faster in this game. Like, you're really slow. Like, I can understand that you cannot walk fast if you're carrying this entire thing, but like, at other times... You can sprint? You can? How? How can I sprint? Shift? What? Okay. Good to know. Press shift for walking. Oh, huh, interesting. There's so many things in this game that you can do that I simply never bothered to look up or try. And then I go, huh, so that's a thing, that's possible. I did not know that. Like, I didn't know about pressing tab and seeing where everything is dirty until I was very far into the game, like I said earlier. Even though the game tells you on the loading screen what all of your buttons do. So it says it right there and I did not... What? All of that is also dirty. Damn. Okay. Okay, come on. Let me clean you. There's only so much dirt still on you. Yeah. Aha! Aha! We're getting there. But we're still not completely there. It's so funny! I don't know if you actually get stuff cleaner faster, but it just looks so funny. And it's easier to move back and forth. Because with just a normal red one, you have to go in this one direction, and this one just goes... So it doesn't really matter if my hand is not quite as steady. At least that's what it feels like to me. Oh, yay! Because my hand is never steady because I'm an avid leg jiggler. So my hand can't really be steady either. So stop jiggling your leg, I cannot! Like, I literally cannot. Sometimes I try to actively stop, but it feels uncomfortable. It just starts jiggling it again. Come on. Yeah! We're getting there. Yeah! It's actually working pretty good. Pretty well. It's working. just wish not all of my hobbies would be tied to reading, because then this headache wouldn't be that bad. But reading with a headache is not really that good. Otherwise I could have made, you know, good use of this day today. It's like, you're staying home sick and then you feel bad about yourself for not doing anything productive, which doesn't make, it does not make sense. It's like, bro, you're sick, so you don't have to be productive, just focus on getting better. And I sit in bed and I'm like, no, I need to be productive, even though I'm literally staying home sick, which is such a, it's so dumb. Like, hi, take your time to heal. And I'm like, no, I need to do things. Like some dumb. Okay, you are in the way. How many of these things are still left? I swear to God. Take your time to discover new music. True. Would be a good idea. To be fair, I had a bunch of like playthroughs I had started from people playing today. Ah, there's one. This one is not completely clean yet. There we go. Ah, this one. Because I could then just, you know, shut my eyes and just listen to them playing the game. Which obviously kind of destroys some of the views, because I don't actually see what is happening in the game, but I'm at least hearing it. Because while I will never play it myself, I am very interested in the Skyward Sword Zelda, because I think that one looks so pretty, and I just know that I won't play it myself ever, so I'm watching someone play it who knows what they're doing. Like, I like it because it's so colorful. Well, I mean, some of the other Zelda games are also colorful, but I really like the ambience of the game when it first came out. I actually own it on the Wii, but I never really got very far. Like, I never even got to the first temple. I think that's how little I played of Skyward Sword on the Wii. So it's interesting to see what that game has to offer, because obviously, as a Zelda game, it has a bunch. Series everything on the Wii and story driven games sounds so bad to just listen to. That's true. That's true. So you're indirectly saying that me playing Great Ace Attorney is good to listen to. Ha ha ha. Except for the very few parts where it's actually voiced, like those 2 cutscenes we have seen. When a chapter starts, but everything else is not voiced. I think Ace Attorney is fun to play with people, because everyone has their own thoughts and stuff about what's happening. And you can go like, until you actually find out what the game says is the real reason or whatever. I think that's really cool. I just always, with like my JRPGs and stuff, I feel bad for you guys, because because I always use the Japanese dub. So you always have to read the text with me, because I obviously won't read out again when it's already being said in Japanese. So you can't really just tune out to it unless you're only there to just listen without actually understanding something. So I was just like, maybe I should play stuff with English dub sometime. But then again, I'm just like, but I prefer the Japanese, I'm sorry. Like, that's a fight I have with myself several times when thinking about playing a game that has more than one dub language. And to be fair, if I ever played Professor Layton, I would have to get used to the English dub, and that's not something I think I'm ready for. Like, genuinely nothing can top the German dub of Professor Layton for me. So there is some nice and weird stuff going on that worth actually watching for. Yeah, the characters are wild in Ace Attorney games. And the animations and what they do, it's a trip. Late made a terrible mistake of not splitting the sub and dub. Yeah, it's like you can play Professor Layton in pretty much every language there is out there, but you cannot combine several of these things. Like, you can play it in English with English dub, or you can play it in German with German dub, or you can play it in Japanese with Japanese dub. I don't actually know if it's dubbed in Spanish or French as well, but you can just combine those. Like, what if I wanted to play Professor Layton with the Japanese dub and with English text? Right? What if I wanted to do that? Who could stop me? Well, the game itself could stop me because it's not designed to be played that way. And they made, for the first 3 games, they've made these HD remakes for the phone, and you can choose any language you want on those, but only for the entire thing. It's like, okay, yeah, sure, you can choose Spanish, but only with the entire thing being in Spanish, and not just mix and match. Why am I not standing? There we go. Which is kind of sad. I wanted to experience Layton in Japanese at some point because I already know the story, and I could get used to reading Japanese. And also some puzzles are different in the Japanese version because they rely on... Oh, there we go. They rely on language stuff that doesn't work outside of Japanese, and I always wanted to see what those were like. Oh my god, there's so many places I've forgotten to clean. And I'm gonna do the house now before I forget again. Oh, look. Hi. The game with the most fitting case of fixed up to the chatting Ladrinos could scream in English and a Japanese chord. Yeah! I haven't listened to the English dub yet. Of Great Ace Attorney. I mean, it would be fun to change it to English, considering that we're now in London, in court. So we would be talking English. But I think I'm just gonna stick with the Japanese. Higiari just hits different. You can change mid-case, yeah. Yes, it's a really nice. I think they made it really nice. Can very easily just switch everything to what you want to. In between, you can save literally anywhere. It's very, very well designed.
Bing, 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 bing. Bing, bing. Bing.
Oh my god, there's so much I missed. How? The game might crash. if you change stuff mid-case, it might crash? Is that what you mean? Or does the game crash just, you know, because?
Please let me clean.
Please, I just want to clean.
Bing. Bing, it says. Bing.
You know what game I am kind of thinking about getting when it releases later this year? It's the 5th Fatal Frame. Because they're porting it to PC and all of the modern consoles. And just sitting there like, do I really want to try my hand at that kind of horror game? Do I really want to do that to myself? Because I think those games are so fascinating and I really love them, but I feel like me playing them myself would not end well. Why is that thing not clean yet? There we go. What? Oh, the window frame is not clean. What? What do you mean? There we go. That's what I thought. We had 99% of the entire thing, but we're still missing a bunch of stuff. What the fuck is a fuss here? I'm pressing tab to see if there's any glaring things I have not yet cleaned. It's like whenever the game tells me like, oh, you're missing something with the da-da-da is still not clean, I'm just like, the what now? I have never heard a word before in my life. It's like, this game really makes me question how good I am at speaking English. Like, of all the games out there, it's a fucking game about power washing that makes me question my ability to speak English. How is that fair? Yeah, I know, you can check. It's like there's so many small parts in this game, in this one, that are apparently still dirty. Just words of a very specific field, that's true, but still. I probably would also not be able to tell you what all of these parts are called in German. Like, that's a house. Please, which part of you is still dirty? I am begging. Well, today's Friday the 30th and I just tried to pass under leather. Oh no! Oh no! There we fucking go, okay. So that pretty much should really only leave this part that is very glaringly still not clean. That's the wrong direction. I want you to move like this. Like this. I don't know what else there is though. probably even more of the underside that I forgot about. Because if you only have 3 things left, it starts showing up on the left. If there's only 3 more parts, but it seems we have more than 3 parts. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. What? What? The table is not clean yet? Are you kidding me? Oh, this entire thing also. The next thing is the table. Before I forget, the table is not yet clean. It's a playground? Oh, I see. Yeah, that's a playground. There we go. Okay. Why is that table not clean? Are you kidding me? What else was it? Huh? Oh, yeah. Oh, wow, okay. That little fucking bell. Are you... No, what is that? A light? Not a bell. Whatever. A lantern. Yeah, sure. What part of this... I saw something here that's not yet clean. What is it? This? Aha! Yeah, all of this underside stuff is not yet clean. Great. The joists or whatever they're called. That's what I thought. This one is clean. This one is clean. What else is out there then? The barbecue side table? What? And the gas bottles are not... What? Huh? Which part of you is not yet clean? I will clean you so hard. Can you... Hi, you're in the way. Thanks. Okay. What part of this is not yet clean? Aha. I see how it is. That's what I thought. Imagine you're out in the woods, you just hear some guy going like, I see. Tell me your secrets now. I'm just like, what the hell is going on? And you just see some dude squatting and aggressively cleaning a barbecue thing. Okay, what else? Fascias. 3 more window frames. Roof trim. 1 roof trim. Lots of outer walls. What? Are you kidding me? There's so many things that are almost completely clean, but like not fully yet. I hate it. Okay. So, more of the house that I forgot about. What do you mean, more of the house? Ah ha ha! I saw something being dirty here. That's actually the wall and not the window frame. It's the wall that's still dirty. What the fuck? Ah, you have to step all the way down there. Are you kidding me? Okay, listen. Get. How am I supposed to reach this? Because now I'm too high. Ah! Still not clean. Okay, what else? Just going to... Uh-huh. Oh! Oh, a lot of the lower thing is still not clean, I see. Aha! Aha! How about this one? What part? Some part... The window frame is not completely clean. Aha! Okay, this one's looking good. Good evening! Hello! How are you? We're cleaning tonight. More like... We're wondering where the fuck we have not cleaned completely yet. And my mouse keeps getting stuck. I just don't understand why this thing is still dirty. Like, yeah, it's lighting up that it's still dirty, but I don't see where. It's weird. Like, it's slowly going down. Like, very slowly. So I have to be hitting... Aha! I have to be hitting some places. I can't really tell how or why, but... There we go. Oh. Uh-huh. This looks good now, I think. Wait, we are missing a window frame. Okay, where is that missing window frame? There's only so many windows, right? Oh! This one. There we go. Okay. What else? Roof trims. Roof trims. Well, these are roof trims, right? Roof trim. Roof trim. It's the upper house wall. Roof trim. Roof trim. Oh, I literally just cleaned that. Roof trim. Roof trim. Oh, this one. No, where is it? This one. This one! I couldn't find the alien hatch on the Mars rover. I was so pissed off when I followed the footsteps. Yeah, I feel you. It's so weird though, like, you can climb on board of the Mars thingy, and then that one is like somewhere that's not even related to the Mars rover. You have to go somewhere else to find it and clean it. Like, what? Who does that? Where is this thing still? Oh, on top. That makes sense. I was like, where is this thing still? 30. That makes sense. It's 30 on top where I cannot see. Ew. Okay, what else? Balance steps. Lower deck joy. Yeah, okay, all of the underside stuff, but what's a balance step? Oh man. I have no clue what a balance step is or where that's supposed to be, not gonna lie. The last missing percent is really getting on my nerves. What's it called? What? There we go. The thing you're missing. I'm missing a balance step. Though I'm also missing some other parts. Lower deck joists. Middle deck joists. Lower decks undersides. And I'm missing one of these upper deck ones as well. Okay, one of you is not yet clean. Which one is it? I will find you. Cannot hide. I will find you. There it is. This one. This one is not yet clean. Why not? Where are you, dirty? I will find that dirt and scrub it off you. Come on. There we go. Okay, what about this one? Ah! Also, do you guys know the Evangelion movie? I think is now on Amazon Prime. The newest one. Hey, one of the balancing stuff on the ground is dirty. Maybe. If it's the last thing that's missing, I'm gonna look for it. But we still have so much other stuff missing, apparently. Ah. These undersides are really mean. It's like this is really tiny amount of dirt just somewhere. Oh, come on. Okay, one. There we go. Okay. Clean, 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 clean. Balance steps are still missing. Lower deck, underside. Wait, we're missing one other side still. Which one? Ah. Where is it? This one, the very first one, I see. There. Okay, then this one is the middle. Hello? This one! How the fuck are you supposed to find out that this is a balance step? What the hell? But yeah, we found it. By pure chance. And the fact that I had it light up. Pure chance, I tell you.
Come on. Give me that 1%.
Please, I'm begging you. Where's the dirt supposed to be? Ah. There it goes. Come on. I keep pressing tab, but nothing is... Huh? There it is. Feels like nothing is showing up. But apparently it's still enough for the game to say that it's not completely clean yet. Okay, what else? Middle deck joist, okay. Oh, you can sprint! Yay! Okay. It's probably going to be something on top, right? Right? Oh, that's just a roof cap. It's a vertical house trim. Now to find out one last thing. Could be pretty much anything. Honestly. 99%. And I literally don't know where that is supposed to be, whatever it is. Ah! Why am I stuck? Also, wait, 15 of 17. What? 50? What part of this thing has? That's a roof trim, yeah, but wait, what? What? These things! These things are vertical house trims. Are you kidding me? Okay, which one of you guys is it? This one. You fucker. Where's the other one? Where is it? This one. Ah! Holy fuck. We did it! We cleaned it. Thank you so much for all your time in the bed. We had... Wow! Holy fuck, that was 3 hours. Oh my god. You know what? I'm going to clean this car just so I can feel good about myself. Look at you go, yeah! I'm going. I cannot believe that thing took us 3 hours. I'm gonna clean this just so I can feel good about myself. And then I think that's where I'm going to stop for tonight. Took long enough. Yeah. I think you can... Car washer, yeah! I think you can get kind of lost in this game. Yoshi's a fast speedrunner. Speed! I think I have the... You can really get lost in this game with how much time you spend on it, but it's generally fun. Like, aside from those really tiny things in the end where you just get stuck and are like, why won't it get clean? But otherwise, it's so good. Yeah. Oh, that's just a reflection. I thought it was dirt. I'm a dumbass. What do you mean, car? That entire thing is a car. So what's a bonnet? 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 What the fuck's a bonnet? I don't know cars. No, for real, what the fuck is a bonnet? 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 British for hood. Damn. Well, British knew it doesn't exist. I don't British. I'm sorry. Woo! See? This is how quickly you can clean a car. Heck yeah. Like, this is a joke. This is a joke compared to what we just did. What the fuck is this? What the fuck? Who drives these things? Do people still drive these things? What the hell? That looks funny. Why were these ever a thing? Like, who came up with these?
Meow.
But here you see my typical problem with stopping this game. I clean one big thing and I do a bunch of small things, and then suddenly I unlock another big thing and I try to do the other big thing, and then I have spent 5 hours on the game for some reason. Somebody really bored, probably. Maybe. Gotta turn small puny human lag energy to big moving human energy, you gotta be creative. That's valid. This other pedal is not getting clean right now. The other side, maybe? Oh, that's fine. Okay, wait. Just really hard to really... You know, because it's so small, it's really hard to hit the places you want. Because those handlebars are like... Okay, maybe I should just use this. Yeah. Come on. There we go. If he didn't ride so beautifully, I'd flog him to a museum. You actually drive this thing? Yeah, I think this one would actually be easier to clean normally, like... Pressure wash is a bit too big. Holy fuck, okay. The last thing is the fire truck. Wait, how hard is the fire truck to do? Let me see. Depending on how hard the fire truck is to do, I'm gonna do it. Because it's only 300. So it can't be that bad. Oh, but we need to go over these several times probably. Genuine question, is PowerWash Simulator fun to watch? Like, because for me it's a bunch of fun, but you're just watching me wash stuff. Fire trucks looks a bit burned. Yeah, I imagine this has seen its fair share of fires. Oh, the grill is going to take a while. It's comfy. I'm glad. I should stop sometime soon though, because otherwise I could have literally just played Ace Attorney. If I go for like 4 or 5 hours of stream, I could have also just played Ace Attorney. You know, there's a theory that the cat's not really missing. Oh. I have never seen a fire truck like from up close. Like obviously I've seen fire trucks pass me by, but I've never actually seen one up close. Which is a good thing, I guess. I've never actually been at a source of fire. It's like when they show it in movies, like when they get out and try to do the work and then like unload a bunch of stuff from the truck, I'm just like, what? Hey bud, do you know if the maze guy's still missing up at the volcano? I think you see him on a yellow rim. I'm going in for a closer look. Oh no! What do you mean you're at the volcano and the cat's at the volcano? Why are both? Why? Oh no. This game has a semblance of a story. That's so... You could still play Ace Attorney for another 5 hours. Haha, yeah, sure buddy. Sure buddy. I could for sure do that. Oh my god, okay. I'm gonna do that tomorrow. Like, unless the symptoms really hit me tomorrow, because so far, honestly, it's only just that headache, and I'm used to having headaches. I think I'm gonna play Ace Attorney tomorrow. Hey dog, we have a lovely little job for you up at the house when you're free. No weird stuff, promise. Sure. It's definitely Ulysses I can see his funny leg. Oh no. Why is the cat at the volcano? Please get the cat away from the volcano. Why would a cat hang out at 10 feet from a lava flow though? I don't know. Oh, you can... sorry. You cannot really see the messages. Guess it's like the world's best log fire. I mean, it's gonna be cozy warm. We did that, we would soon have a new sleep ASMR. Yeah. Sleeping streams are not allowed on Twitch though, I think. If I ever figure out how to do it, we could do some movie nights on Discord though. Or just watch a movie together. Because I like the idea of those, I just have no clue how to set them up. Okay, I'm going in on that grill. I think for this fire truck it would be a good idea to use the special stuff, but it's okay, we can do this. New sleep ASMR. Just end up with me waking up sometime in between and talking some incomprehensible stuff and then falling back asleep. Stupid pussy could just be AFK and just forgot to put on the pause screen. I don't have a be right back screen anyway, so like... Galaxy brain. We're all just enjoying a fun time. Wow, no, you've been streaming for 15 hours? Yeah, I like, you know, fell asleep. Twitch does not need to know that, no. It's just a secret between you and me. Oh my god. How dirty is this grill? Being VTuber, nobody knows what's actually happening. True that. Isn't the grill... Oh, it's clean. Never mind. I was about to say, like, isn't the grill clean sometime now? No, but I want to log into Thieves of Themis. sometime soon, because the daily reset for Tears of Themis happens at 9 p.m. my time. So it's always really nice to just lock in before getting ready to go to bed. Or like slowly getting ready to go to bed. It's the weekend right now, obviously, so I don't need to go to sleep that early, but then I can check out all the daily stuff. Try to make it to level 50 in the event that's going on right now, because I'm definitely playing this game too much. And then go to sleep. I think that's what I'm going to spend the rest of my evening with as soon as we finish this. No need for some webcam dress code, true that. I'm always dressed well. I'm always dressed very well. It's a very iconic outfit. I think my music stopped again. Hold on. Yeah, it has. What the fuck did they do to this car? Veerderp. Okay. Not fire deep. You wanna come always wearing pajamas as escort? Sure, yeah. Oh man. Amberwood's fire department. Oh, the Amberwood's fire department needs to take better care of the fucking truck. Also, if the life of one kitten is in danger, because I have to clean this whole thing first, they could have also just took it to save the kitten and then get back here. Because if they're going to save a kitten from being near a fucking volcano, it's going to be dirty as fuck anyway once they get back. Like, what's the point of that? Oh, that's the wrong button. What's the point of cleaning if you're going to go out and come back dirty again? Well, obviously you need to clean at some point, but like... No, hey! Good evening! What's the point of deep cleaning if you're going to go out immediately after and get it dirty again? I mean, honey! Hi! How are you? Oh my god! How am I going to get this clean? Just go over it at least 2-3 times or more, I guess. Oh my god. Holy fucking hell. Thankful. What's a crosslay? The others make sense to me. What the hell is a crosslay? So many words I've never heard before in my life. So many. Ah! Oh! Yay! It's clean! There we go. You know what I've always wanted to try out in regards to simulator games? I've always wanted to try one of those Euro Truck simulators and actually drive on roads that I know. Just to see what they would look like in these games. But I think they're a bit too... You can give it to you, you have the game. Because I feel like they're too expensive just to justify seeing like 1 or 2 roads I am familiar with in real life. There's only like a couple of other one parts in there. Aww. Germany's in the base game. That's cool though. I wonder how they make these games. Do people actually drive on these roads and then build them in the game? Oh! I'll just clean this car and then stop. Well, I mean, I am cleaning the car. That is what I'm doing. I am cleaning the car. Right? Is this also a car? See? I am cleaning the car. Oh, the bumper is not clean yet. It's like a cup of city does. Ooh, that's cool. Why are you washing a fire truck? Because it's dirty and it needs to be cleaned. Because they need to use it. Why aren't you washing a fire truck? One of the games that's satisfying. Yeah! PowerWash Simulator and you get to power wash. What more could you want? You get a hose and you get a bunch of water and you press Let's already wash the dirt off the ground on the playground. Yeah! Yeah, cleaning in real life doesn't have the same effect. Well, I mean, it does. Like, if you're finished, it actually does feel very liberating to say, wow, I clean all this in real life. But like, this game, I can simply stop anytime I want. If I tried, you know, if I started to clean my room and then got tired halfway through, like half my room would just be a mess because I always do like take things from one place, put it in another place for a while until I clean the first place, and then it just looks worse in between because I just put everything from one place to another. A really different game if you shoot blood. That's true. So where would you get this much blood from? That would be a scary thing to think about if you had that much blood to shoot out. If you should really save for next time, then cleaning is the most important thing of all. Yeah. When you have these bouts of, oh, I literally will do everything aside from doing the one thing I'm supposed to. Cleaning is always on top of that list. So, oh, I wanted to do this thing forever. I'm going to clean. You might have made a lens and so you're... Nice. No, your nose piece might just work out. The blood? Shooting out the blood, you mean? Listen. I don't think I have that much blood in my system. If I had, I think that would be something completely different to be worried about. Which brings me, I'm watching someone play Shinhayarigami, the second game, which never did receive an official English release, but the person is translating the game as they go, and they found a body in the wait, it's the second case of the game. In the second case of the game, they find a body, and they go like, yeah, she probably died due to blood loss, and we're like, okay, sure. And then they tell you, yeah, you know, considering that this woman was probably like 50 kilograms, she should have 3 liters of blood in her. And just like, excuse me, what? I think you're supposed to have more than just 3 liters of blood in you as a healthy person, right? Like, even if she was a small woman, I think she should have more than just 3 liters of blood in her. And that was not a typo, that was in the game. It just said that, like, that's a... Don't you think that's a little too little? Isn't blood donating already half a liter? No, I don't think they take that much. Half a liter is a lot. I don't think they take that much. I think they take like 200 or something? 200 milliliters or something? I don't think they take that much. Only a vampire would know this much. Half a liter would be boring. Yeah, no, that's way too much. I haven't been blood donating ever since, you know, COVID started. Which is really throwing a wrench into my plan to get to the 50 years of blood donating. I saw a woman there once, she was like old. And they were like, wow, this is your, you know, 50th year where you've been doing this. And she's like, yeah, and I plan to keep on doing it. I'm like, what? Damn. I want to reach that many years, but... Oh, like, no, I think it was 100 times. Well, she had donated a lot of blood, and like, oh, come on. There's only so many times a year you're allowed to donate blood, so she had been going at it for... Can I please get up? For a while. Police, rules, fire, drugs. Yeah, sure. She's looking at the full-scale donation release hub. It is? The fuck? Damn. Okay, I mean that explains why I always feel so lightheaded. I never thought it was really a half a liter. Because that really is a lot of blood. Okay, within a whisk of releases now. Hopefully he can get the cat before the cat ends up in the volcano. We open this outcrop and Mount Ruthless is rumbling more than ever. Uh-oh. I don't want the volcano to erupt. Especially not if this guy and the cat are up there. That would be worrying. Always been a dog man and now I know why. Oh, come on, dude. Don't say that. Like Nata said, no, I'm not even allowed to donate. Yeah. Well, I am. Though they keep telling me that, like, oh, but you need to be careful. I'm like, well, I drank like 2 liters today before coming here and I ate. What more do you want? Oh, but if you feel bad, tell us. I'm just saying there, like, just take my money. My money. Take my... take my money. Take my blood and get it over with. Because my blood can be used by a lot of people. And there's never enough blood out there because you cannot really preserve it. Get it. Get it while it's still fresh. Oh nice, the letter's done. Which only leaves us with the truck itself. That is apparently still... aha. Dirty. Oh, I mean that entire part is also part of the truck. Yeah. There we go. That was fast. Oh, the emergency lights. Okay. Okay. The fog light. The bumper. Okay, what else? Bunch of small things, probably, right? Hose. Steps. One of the wheels and the windscreen wipers. Oh, oops. I see. Well, I should be able to clean those. So, I see. Okay. The hose? Where's the hose? Where's the hose? This is the hose. Aha! Steps. What kind of steps? Ah, these one. And the wheel. One of the wheels. Okay, which one? This one? I don't know. This one. There we go! Ah, thank you for the pasta, Jack! Your legend as of super seen even Rust gone. I should get the mail for bags for what dreams you can go back to the jobs you paid for. Thanks. Sure. And thank you for the higher time. Yay! I like this little video they always give you after to show how you did it. Clean the recreation vehicle. Yeah, but I'm not going to do that right now. Oh yay! I think we're almost done. Because I already have 90 stars. It looks to me like we have done a lot of things, huh? Someone to just wish someone else immortality but actually want immorality. I wish you immorality. What? Oh, there's no professional duty one out there yet? I see. Woo! We did it! I'm not going to do this one as well. I think we're good. We've been going for almost 4 hours. I cannot believe I've been going for that long just washing. I'm power washing so fucking hard, I swear to God. Oh, excuse me. Now the question is just, who do I send you guys to? Recreation vehicle, yeah! Don't ask me. I don't know. I don't know what that's about. Now the question is just, what do we do? Who's live? Lots of people live. V is live with Crisis Corp. again. Though I don't know a lot about Crisis Core. That sounds like a great idea. We love V. V is always a joy to be with.
So let's say hello to V.
Oh wow, I accidentally have caps enabled. That's not good.
Here we go. Here's a great message as always. It was a nice dream.
I'm glad it was. I'm also glad that I think it's really only the fucking headache, and otherwise I'm doing pretty well. So I'm hoping it stays that way. And we can get back to Great Ace Attorney tomorrow. Why is my Twitch not working? What? I want to raid.
Whoa.
I wish you all a very good night. I'm gonna just
Stop this one and put on this one.
thank you, you too.
No, thank you. Thank you for coming as always. I wish you all a very good night. And say hello to V for me. And bye bye. Wait, wrong direction. This one. Bye bye.